A multi-tool should be a staple item for any cyclist to take with them on a ride. No matter how well tuned and fettled your bike, mechanical problems can still happen. Ones that can be easily fixed if you've got the right tool with you. The question is though, what is the right multi-tool? Well, let's go over some of the different types available, shall we? Now we'll start off with the really simple ones that have just got a few Allen keys on them. They can be either really lightweight and compact, like that, or slightly larger, and therefore easier to use, but perhaps more suited to knocking around at home for those simple adjustments. Next step on are ones that have got chain tools attached to them. Now I think that is essential for any ride that you can't walk home from. Chains do break. Even the most expensive, newest chains can still snap. And the only way to fix them really is with a chain tool, even if you've got a quick link tucked away in your saddlebag. But it may be that you don't want all your tools in one place, and actually it'd be better to have them separate. So something like this, which is the survival gearbox from Topeak, would be a prime example. There is an awful lot going on in there. Which one is right for you then? Well, for me, there are two things to consider. Firstly, it has to have tools to cover everything I need. And secondly, it needs to be packaged up in something that is super lightweight. After all, it's going on my bike, so I don't want to take anything unnecessarily. But what are the tools that I need then? Well, first of all, a 4mm Allen key or a hex key and a 5mm are the two things that I probably use most. Anything from adjusting saddle heights to tightening headsets. I'll also occasionally use 6mm as well for either attaching pedals or for seat clamps. Some pedals need an 8mm, but you can find that most multi-tools will probably have a little adapter on there to convert your 6mm into an 8mm. And then if you've got pedals that need tightening with a spanner, just make sure they're on tight before you set off. I wouldn't ride with a spanner in my pocket, it has to be said. A crosshead or a Phillips screwdriver also comes in really handy for when dealing with your mechs. Now, you can either just need to make a small adjustment out on the road, which is fine, but if you have anything catastrophic happen, then having one of these is worth its weight in gold. Now, some bikes also use Torx keys everywhere. Now, those are the little star-shaped headed ones like these. Most multi-tools will have a T25 on them, which is the most common size, but then some bikes also use T30s and T15s. So you need to pay really close attention to make sure that the tools that you've got on your multi-tool match up to the bolts that you've got on your bike. Or maybe change the bolts on your bike, which I may or may not have done. Now, I also said that a chain tool is absolutely essential for any ride that you're going to be self-sufficient on, and I maintain that that is the case. You can ride home with a loose headset, you can ride home with a slip seat post even, but a bike with no chain is not much good, unless you happen to break your chain at the top of a really long descent maybe, and the end of your ride is at the bottom. That would be a real stroke of luck. Now, something like this Topeak Mini 20, which comes with me on my rides, fixes pretty much everything that is going to happen on my bike, and it's also nice and lightweight. All I need to do is to take a tube, a pump, and maybe some patches, and I'm good to go. So this ticks all the boxes for me then, but I rarely ride for more than a few hours now, and never in the wilderness. So what happens if you're going out for longer, self-supported rides, or even multi-day epics? Well, I think in that case, you need something more along the lines of this, where you've got individual tools that are going to be easier to use and are also slightly more robust. Now, the only reason I wouldn't take this on a normal ride with me is just because, although lightweight, it's still slightly bigger. So it's not going to fit in either my jersey pockets or my saddlebag. But then I imagine if you're riding around the world, then you're probably not just going to have stuff in your jersey pockets and a saddlebag. Although that would be quite cool, and probably someone one day will do that. When you're buying a multi-tool, do try and make sure that there's a little pouch for it to go into. If you're putting something metal inside your saddlebag, it's quite likely that that multi-tool could end up rubbing a hole in your spare inner tube, and this little pouch will stop that happening. Likewise, if you throw it in your jersey pocket and you happen to forget that that's next to your phone, you could end up scratching the screen. So how should you choose a multi-tool then? Well, I think you need to make sure that you've got all the tools that you need and nothing that you don't. So make sure all the bolt sizes are covered, and always take a chain tool with you on a ride. That's if you don't want to walk home. Now, do let us know what the stickiest situation you've ever got out of on a ride using a multi-tool. For me, it was 4 hours into a 6-hour ride in the middle of winter, and I ripped my rear derailleur clean off. But I got home without frostbite and without walking. So let us know what's happened to you. Now, there are loads of videos on GCN where we will help you get out of roadside situations using just a multi-tool. And for 2 of them, click up there and you can watch one about how to fix your chain, which is arguably one of the most common, or even more common, how to fix a puncture. You can do it in record time if you click and watch that one. Finally, if you want to subscribe to GCN, just click on your favorite tool. Just don't include me in that. Yeah, no, don't click on me. Okay. Are my knees in shot, by the way? Because they need a shave.
Yes, they are.
Both of them?
Yeah.